welcome to this week's episode of The Greek Soup, where we stir the pot. Today we have an amazing guest, Nicki. You ready for her? Oh, look at her face. Wait for it. Kind of fascinating because I'm here in Massachusetts, Nicki's in Buffalo, and our guest today has been in between and both places and more. But so, what a connection, right? Okay, so here we go. We've got an award-winning multimedia journalist, Angela Christoforos, and in Greek, really, it's Christoforou, but in English, it's Christoforos. So here we are, award-winning multimedia journalist from Massachusetts. She has done it all, my friends. Okay, an advocate for autism awareness. She recently celebrated a big birthday, although I don't know if it's a big birthday to me right now, but it's a big birthday for her. She's done film, print, commercials. Honestly, I could keep going. She's done it all. A lover of fashion. I know animal print 100%. If you look at her social media, I always want to trend with her. She's my idol when it comes to that stuff. Lover of fashion, TikToks, and we know the Greek frappe. So Angela, thank you for being here with us. I do have the frappe. Isn't it awful? Only
Cheers. Thanks so much for having me.
Makes me jitter.
This was awesome.
Thank you. We love you.
We are so happy to have you here with us here today. So we've got some questions to ask you just because we're just, this is what we do. And so we want to start out really just by having you tell us a little bit about your journey, really. And, you have so much to be proud of. And, we'd love for you to tell us a little bit about how did you know when you were going to be on TV? How old were you? When did you know? What sparked this interest? You're like, I'm going to change the world by making people laugh and all that kind of stuff.
I would say I knew when I was 12 years old. It's funny because it's not often that somebody that young just knows. I was always very inspired by Maria Menounos.
Yeah.
Back then when I was
love her.
Yeah, I love Maria.
Love her.
I used to watch her on E! News, and I just loved seeing her dressed up. I loved her personality. Just like what a thrilling job to be able to present the news every night and people tune in every night to see you. And there was just something really fascinating about that. I've always been a people person too, and a storyteller. In TV, it's just a thrill because every day it's meeting different people, telling their stories. And I've always loved writing. So it kind of combines everything. My love of writing, storytelling, being a people person, fashion, all into one. So yeah, I would say from 12 years old, I just knew. And then everything that led after that. In high school, I took TV studios classes. I went to Suffolk University in Boston, studied broadcast journalism. And in college, I interned at Channel 7 here in Boston. I interned at NECN. And it was just sort of a chain of events. One thing led to another. First job out of college, I was a news writer at Channel 7. And I met awesome people there who helped me put together my video reel. So when you apply for a regular job, you have a resume. To get a TV job, it's basically a video reel with like snippets of your on-air work. So I worked with the best of the best at Channel 7 who helped me put together my reel. And that is basically what helped me get my first job in TV. I went to middle of nowhere, Presque Isle, Maine, where there's more moose than people. It's kind of because you have this city girl. I was so used to being in Boston. I lived in the North End. Just so used to that lifestyle. So I went from that to more moose than people, potato fields, totally different.
It sounds like, Angela, you were so fearless at such a young age.
Yeah, I think I wanted it so bad. I would have gone to Alaska if I had to. Wow. I had that kind of determination from a really young age to just go and make it happen, because you just never know what something could become, but you got to be willing to take the risk. Amazing things happened those 2 years I was in Presque Isle, Maine. I actually won my first broadcasting award while I was there. So it just goes to show you, does not matter where you are, the market size, it's kind of what kind of determination and ambition you have to make something happen. I did a series on autism awareness there. It was a 5-part series. And the reason I wanted to do it is because I have a brother with autism. I have 2 brothers. My brother, Paul, his full name, Bolivios. He is only, we have like a 14-month age difference. I'm the older sibling. And that was probably, I think dealing with his autism it was tough for me as a kid because of like behavioral challenges. I struggled with that for a long time. And it wasn't really until I became a young adult that things started to click and I started to see him differently. So while I was in Maine, I thought to myself, I want to do a 5-part series and I want part 1 to be on my family so viewers understand why I have a personal investment. So when I came home during a vacation week, I went to like our local cable access station and I rented a camera and tripod and I shot interviews with my mom, my brother, and I brought the footage with me back to Maine and I edited the piece, put it together. Beautiful. And the rest of the series, I went out into the community and I found other families impacted by autism. So part 2 was a little boy under the age of 5 with autism. Then I found 2 sisters about like ages 5, 7. I found a woman in her 50s with autism who's like a genius. She's written books. She travels around the country. She does seminars. Just an amazing person.
Wait a minute. What's her name?
It's Deborah Lipsky.
Oh, I thought it was this other woman that I knew. Okay.
Yeah, there's so many, amazing people out there. But it was awesome. Like here I am in Presque Isle, Maine. It's a rustic county. There's the population. There's not a lot of people, but I was still able to connect with these amazing families. And when part 1 aired, it was like one of the best experiences I think I've ever had ever. There was just such a tremendous response from the viewers, from the community. We had viewers in Canada as well because we were right on the Canadian border. So I got a lot of emails, Facebook messages, phone calls to the station, just people saying, thank you so much for opening up your life to us and showing us your family and like being so raw and authentic about it, because I have a son, daughter with autism, or I have a sibling with autism, and like you've given me hope, like your brother is amazing. So it just, that's
it's I don't want to cut you off, but it's important sometimes to open up conversations that are very taboo. And perhaps inside of you too, you were probably feeling a little sensitivity toward the topic, but sometimes you just got to put it out there because someone needs some inspiration. And so it's great that you put it out there because now it follows you.
My single largest, like the biggest struggle I had internally, I think, was dealing with his autism. And
how people were the challenges because of how people viewed him, or just the pragmatics of having autism, of how limiting it can be? Or maybe it was both for you guys, for the whole family as a whole.
I think it was a mix of things. I think it was his behavioral issues were tough to deal with. It's like tiptoeing around him. Sometimes something that could be a minor inconvenience for you and I might set him off. Like he loves to draw, he loves to paint. Let's just say he lost his pencil. He'll flip out if he can't. He doesn't know where it is. It was tough being a kid because, kids can be cruel. Them teasing my brother or teasing me too. That was hard for me to deal with. There were times as a kid where I was embarrassed to be around him. Like I'm embarrassed to admit this now, but that's really the truth of how I felt as a kid. And my mom always was so worried that I would feel like he got more attention than I did. And she did such a good job of always telling me, I want you to know that I love you so much. He just needs a little more attention. And it's true. But she was always so worried about that. But I never ever felt like she loved him more than me. Never. Like my parents loved us all equally. But yes, I think that as a little kid, it can be tough to understand. Yes, he has autism. So
your mom seems amazing that she even noticed all that at that time.
Yeah. She did a wonderful job. And I think as I got older, I really understood. I think when you're a little kid, it's just, there are certain things, because you're not mature enough, you don't get it. But that's, you know what, that's shaped who I am today.
So let's talk a little bit about social media, Nicki. What do you say?
Well, I'm very interested in asking you a few questions, Angela, about social media. And okay, so now we're living in like weird times with the quarantine, and so our creative juices are flowing a little bit differently. And I see with you and the things that you're doing a little bit differently. So tell me, how have you stayed creative during this time, this pandemic? Um, and where did the TikTok obsession come from? That's the other thing, because you do it so well. It's amazing. I love it.
So it's just like a fun way to do something. We're all home, so what are you going to do to entertain yourself? You get these great ideas, and sometimes
Yeah.
I get my brothers in on it too. I get my friends in on it. It's like a fun thing to do all together. And you know what? We could all use a good laugh during this time.
Well,
So
isn't that, that's why I love your videos so much, because they're so positive and you make me smile. You make everyone smile. And it is about using the time wisely and saying to yourself, okay, should we just sit in a corner and stress out the whole time, or should we take advantage of this time and do something creative? I think the videos too, like the TikTok videos, because you know I'm obsessed too. Connie's obsessed. I know a few others.
I think you might be more obsessed than me, but
Listen, it's exactly what Angela just said regarding technique. It's really about learning technique and you know, building something creative like a TikTok video. Because Angela, you're really good at it because you do clips, and I love that.
And what did you say, Angela? Like, how does it make you feel when you do them?
it's just so fun.
Fun, right?
It takes the heaviness, because there's been a lot of heaviness the past few months, just watching the news, and there's so much happening. You need to forget about it sometimes. And that's I think exactly what TikTok does. I think the whole purpose of life, you just have to have fun. Like, no matter what you're doing, whatever you're working towards, if you can't have fun, like, what's the point? So, we're all home, we're dealing with uncertain times, but let's make the best of it and have fun. There are good things that come out of everything.
One of the other things that we know about you, right, is especially being in media, you have to put yourself out there, right? Whether you're having a good day or a bad day, you have to really put yourself out there. And we know social media, there's pros and cons to all of that.
Angela and I did a talk at BOCES a year ago regarding the misconceptions of social media. So it's like this reality versus illusion, and a lot of things. Angela, why don't we talk about that? How that's come up for you in your career, how people have judged you a certain way, but behind the scenes, it's an entirely different backstory. Can you tell us about that?
I like to put out the things that are happy in life. So you're going to see a lot of my family and pictures with my friends, my cat, the things that bring me joy. There are a lot of things in life that bring me joy, and I feel blessed for so many things. But does that mean I don't have struggles and challenges like everyone else? We all have them. So that's why you should never compare yourself to someone else's highlight reel. So yes, you see me smiling, I'm having fun on TV, but the truth is, I had days when it's like, are you sure this is worth it? You're sacrificing so much, you missed your family. So there's always like another side to the coin. I think it's like really important to remember that.
And one of the things that I want to ask you a bit about, so public speaking is one of the biggest fears that people have, right? So now add it getting in front of the camera, putting yourself out there. What has been your inner voice throughout the years, of when it comes to, creating a story, sharing a story? Have you had self-sabotaging beliefs and inner judgment? Did I say that correctly? What just happened? Am I good enough? Like, what have you gone through and worked through to really, feel like I got this?
I think it's repetition. The more you do it and the more used to it, you just become, it's like a muscle, the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. And I used to tell myself, it's just me and my photographer, Paul. He was the photographer I used to work with every day. And that's it. I used to say, don't even think about the people at home. Just do it. And that's it. It takes time.
I always hear people are like, I'm so petrified to get up there. And I'm not afraid to speak either, but I do get butterflies too. But, I know that the inner critic and the voice inside, can always haunt, and say different things. And, I think about young women or, men too, and they're, and they're younger, or they're in their 20s, like, what are some things that and you've shared some already, but what are some other pieces of advice perhaps based on what you've experienced? What are some tips that you might offer them as they're navigating through their careers too?
I always think about something my cross country coach used to say back in high school. I think it was the 5 P's, the 6 P's. Proper prior practice prevents piss for performance.
Whoa.
So
I do remember that somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's all about the more you prepare and do your homework and make sure that you do whatever sort of training is necessary ahead of time, the better off you are. It's good to be open. And yes, you have to put in the effort too. You can't expect things to just fall out of the sky, although sometimes they do happen that way. But I think if your heart is in the right place and you work hard and you put forth the effort, you just have to kind of trust that God, the universe, higher power, whatever it is you believe, has your back. Yeah.
So what are some things that you do on the daily to keep healthy, strong, gorgeous, that we can you can share with all of our viewers here?
So lately in quarantine, I've been working from home. One thing that I love is I get to walk a lot more than I used to. I love using the app on my phone. I try to get 10,000 steps a day. So that's like every day I try to do that. We have to move. It's not healthy to sit at a desk all day. I'm a people person too. I have a tough time sitting in one spot for too long.
Like we got hips, us Greek ladies, girls, we got hips. We gotta like move those hips every day.
We gotta move.
What I'm saying is like, you gotta shake those hips with the tifteteli. You gotta like cultivate them a little bit. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Listen, Connie, I do that all day long. All right, I do it all day long.
Yeah, and your TikTok videos.
But Angela goes morning and night. She takes walks all the time. I don't know how you have all this energy.
So so you take walks. What else?
Talk every day. Yes. I strive to eat healthy. Like I'm not perfect with it, but I like the 80-20 rule.
Okay.
Like I love following a healthy diet and the other 20% letting yourself cheat and have what you want.
Enjoy.
Obviously, a lot of fruits and veggies. Now, I speak just for myself when I say this, because everybody has a different way of eating and balancing things. Usually during the week, so Monday through Friday, minus maybe a glass or two of Prosecco Friday night, I try to stick to lighter, veggies, protein, like lower on the carbs, and I really try my best those days to stick to it, because I know when the weekend comes, I like to treat myself, whether I love Greek pastries, I love pasta, pizza, I love all those things. But if you do that every day, things can get a little out of hand.
Wow, you have willpower because your mom cooks every day. So you've got her making pasticcio, all these heavy items. How do you stay away from that stuff? It's so good.
Nicki, it's the olive oil. Don't you understand? It's okay. Does your mom tell you this all the time? Because this is what I grew up. My mother's like, no. You will never gain weight with the Greek food. No, Mom, I'll just eat, bread that you could possibly give me.
My mom used to feed us rice pudding for breakfast because she used to say to me, you need dairy. The milk is good for you. Don't easy, everything. It's good for you. It's healthy, right? And then if she makes a tapsi of pasticho, we can't just have one piece. We have to, a third of the tapsi we have to eat. It's like, how do you say no?
Who's your
Yeah.
favorite person to follow on social media?
Oh gosh, there's so many people. I'll say Maria Menounos. I look her up a lot.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite Greek dish?
Macaronia mekima.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's spanakopita too.
Greece. I looked up the recipe the other day. I'm like, I gotta make some of that. Okay. What's your
Okay.
favorite song of all time?
Oh God, I can't pick one. I have so many favorites.
Okay, right now.
Well, Greek. Let's do Greek.
The Taliki song.
I love all of him. You know, I have dreams with him. I think we were like together in a previous.
You know, I saw him in concert before coronavirus exploded.
I love seeing him all the time. Okay. So your favorite piece of clothing?
Oh gosh, I have to pick one favorite piece of
You
clothing.
can pick more than one. We'll let you decide.
Anything leopard print. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
What about favorite like item? Like, you know, accessory, tops. But you know, if you're walking into the store, what is like your like go-to thing always?
I love a nice handbag.
Favorite vacation spot?
Greece, come on.
All right. Your favorite like makeup product that is rocking it for you?
I love mascara.
What is your favorite word that you use all the time?
What kind of audience is watching here?
Oh,
Mature.
Malaka.
Malaka, yes! Guys, for my birthday, my friends got me this shirt that says, "What a Malaka" on it in quotes, Angela, because I see that all the time.
I want to ask you about how easy or difficult it has been dating during quarantine, COVID-19.
I've done the FaceTime dating, and there
You
are a couple
have?
people. Yeah, and there's a couple of people I've talked to consistently over the past couple of months. But how well can you really get to know someone through a screen? It's not the same. In person, it's like you feel somebody's vibe and energy. I can tell. I'm that person.
You hear the dog barking?
Yeah, like
Energy. You can.
yeah, within 5 minutes of meeting someone, I can tell. I just know.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, so what do you automatically look for? Like, what are your like absolutely non-negotiable things that you're like they must have?
Yeah, top three things. Tell us.
Okay. So my top three, obviously, like a genuine, kind-hearted person. If you have to have that. Personality is huge because somebody can have a very nice exterior, but if your personality is dry or we just don't click, forget it. So the personality is very important. I think being, a hardworking, driven person is important. I was brought up to be hardworking and driven, so I want someone who's also the same. And I think the family values are big. Like, family is such a big part of my life, and I look forward to the day that I can start my own family too. So I think that when I am out on dates, I ask myself, does this person really want the same things I do? Because if he doesn't, see you later. Next.
So can I ask you, do you are there physical attributes that you look for first that capture your attention?
Yeah.
And then
I probably should have made the top three, huh?
I was like, what about the eyes, hands?
Yeah. I'm
hair?
into the tall, dark, and handsome look.
She's like hands.
He doesn't have to necessarily be Greek. I like Greeks, Italians.
Wait, I'm sure our viewers have hands on their list too, Connie.
You're like, show me your hands. Nope.
What does a social distancing date look like for you?
Okay, so I went on one. I went to Wakefield Lake here in Mass, and it was very funny. I felt kind of awkward. But the date
You were
was
6
fine.
feet apart or 3
Yeah.
feet apart?
Did you wear a mask?
This was early on before the CDC recommended that we all wear masks out in public. So we walked around Wakefield Lake. and we stayed 6 feet apart. Yeah, we just like went for a nice
Wow.
walk. We got like a coffee after.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were together for an hour, maybe hour and a half. He was a nice person, but I figured out in that hour
You
that he.
can't. Can I ask you? You don't shake hands at the end, right?
Oh no,
Hey,
no.
nice to meet you.
When he started to get close to me, when he started to get a little too close, I was like, "Hey, social distancing, man, over there." He was great.
Oh my God. Think about it. This is great. If you don't like anybody, you could totally use this new thing. You could totally be like, I'm sorry. I'm on social distancing right now. I can't come near you. Don't.
Sorry, no kisses.
Thank you. Thank you for the future of
Listen,
dating.
oh my God, Angela, God did you a favor.
I
by
know.
creating this.
So 10 years from now. Okay, so 10 years from now, that's a long time, right? So you just started another decade.
Yeah.
But you just looking back and you're seeing everything that you did 10 years, who and where is Angela? What will you be doing? What will you be talking about 10 years from now looking back? What is that?
I'm probably going to be talking about how hectic my life is with my husband, my 2 kids, cleaning. I always say my mom complains too much, but I'm exactly like my mom.
Making pasticcio.
Yeah, super.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are going to be my conversations at age 40. But I think I'm going to look back and say, why did you worry so much? I am going to look back and say, you've really lived your life. Like, I want to continue traveling. Nicki knows that I have a bucket list. I love to do like crazy thrill-seeking things. I've been skydiving, parasailing. I love to travel. I want to keep going to different places in Europe. Australia would be cool. Just a whole bucket list of things. My brother Paul, who has autism, wrote and illustrated his own children's book. I've always wanted to become a published author too. So maybe that's a project that I can like really take head on in my 30s. I want to continue growing in my career. I want to reach, like an account director, VP level, whether that's at my current agency or somewhere else. Who knows what the future holds? But I just want to continue on the path I'm going. I just look forward to taking those next steps. It's kind of like everything that I've been working towards the past 5-10 years. Now in my 30s, I think that's going to catapult.
I wanted to ask you more about the bucket list, more about the energy behind it and how important it is for one to create bucket lists in one's life. Do you think it's helped you focus on maintaining forward direction in your life?
I am motivated when I know that there's a reward coming. So I'm supposed to go to Greece in July. We'll see if it still happens now with coronavirus, but I've had it booked since January. I planned an island hopping trip to the Cyclades. So I want to do Santorini, Ios, Naxos, Paros, Mykonos for a couple weeks. Yeah. So it's like every 2-3 days, just go to a different island. So for me, knowing that this trip is coming up, it's not just the being on the trip. It's like everything leading up to it. You're more motivated to like eat healthy and work out because you want to look and feel good in your skin on the beach. It's the shopping, like the planning the outfits, thinking to yourself, like, I'm going to go to this site. I'm going to go to this beach. I want to take pictures here. It helps you get through tough weeks at work, tough workouts, knowing that you've got something fun coming up. I think you need that, something exciting to look forward to.
Yeah, and I think people need to write them down as well, because you're a writer, so you can kind of connect with that. But also write down your accomplishments of all the things you've done on your bucket list that you've already checked off. So looking at it, I always do this as far as a year analysis. Some people do it as a monthly analysis, but there's this energy that happens when you reflect back and say, wow, because when you really see it, you're like, wow, I've done so much stuff. But then you have to keep creating like you do in forward energy. So that's really great. What's on your bucket list, Connie? Give me 2 things.
Well, my book, number one. Australia is on my bucket list.
Woo!
Meeting Oprah is
Ooh.
on my bucket list. Meeting J-Lo, and I want to be able to like master like a very difficult Latin dance, or like be in some like production dancing thing.
Oh, that's a good one. That's one of the things on my bucket list, is to be part of a Greek play.
Oh.
So mastering, number one, the language, but also being in that energy with different Greek actors. So that just, I got to write that down actually on my bucket. That's not my mind. That's in my mind. I got to write it down so I can manifest it.
Oh my Lord.
Love it.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so we have talked about so much today.
I know. I could talk to you ladies all day.
Social media, family, working hard, balance, and I think what I know, at least for me, I'm really taking away today is this, this lighthearted feeling of having fun and really enjoying the journey. I think you've really inspired us by that today, is really understanding that it's, you can smile along the way regardless of what it is that you're going through. And that it's all beautiful. It's all great. And, to surround yourself, I think, with a loving community. I know some people don't have the luxury of having these big Greek families or, access and all those kinds of things. But, finding home where your heart is, I think is really a beautiful thing that I know that I'm being reminded of from our conversation here today. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You are both just such a light. Like I think the Greek soup is amazing.
Thank you.
It's so important to surround yourself with good people. Like whenever you two pop up on your Instagram stories pop up, there are certain people in life, being around them puts you in a good mood. Like that's what you are, Connie, and you, Nicki. Seriously.
Thank you.
You are both amazing. It was so great to join you guys on the Greek Soup. Keep doing what you do, because you definitely inspire me, and you inspire a lot of other people too.